Okay, here we go. Here we go. Again, good evening, everybody. My name is Jane Schaefer, and I think most of you know me now by now. So anyway, I've been in with LifeWave now. Oh my gosh, 8 years or going on 8 years anyway, and I love every minute of it. I love all the products, and and I think this is why we're here because we love the product. We want to learn more so we can go out and share with the rest of the world and people you love and care. So tonight we're going to be talking about silent nights, more so about sleep. But silent nights play a huge part in our product to help people with the sleep and sleep challenge. And of course, Aeon will touch base with that a little bit as well. And this will be a complete training about sleep, melatonin, and stress relief. So what is Silent Night? And Silent Night is basically the same as the other product we have, right? It is a phototherapy patch. Nothing, we know that nothing enters the body. And how the patch works, just the basics, so we go over this a little bit, is that your body naturally emits infrared light. The patch reflects the specific wavelengths back into the skin, gently stimulating the acupuncture points, which we're going to go over where to patch with Silent Night. So this is similar to the story of vitamin D and the sun, which we hear about it all the time. So the result, your body's is signaled to produce its own melatonin naturally without pills, without hormones, without any stimulants or supplement. So in our product is based on clinical research, and Silent Night was one that David talked about a lot. That had a research backed by the I think it's French Sleep Institute that he had done a study at, and 66% clinically shown to increase the length of sleep. 80% of participants reported improved quality of sleep, and 88% had improved length of sleep. And this is all in the clinical studies. And that's pretty significant number there if you don't notice. And so we're going to go into this a little bit with where to patch first, because when you get the product, it comes with a brochure as a recommended patching placement. And these placement are what the company has studied on. So as you can see, there are 6 different placement recommended for Silent Night. And you can use any of this placement or test it all. So we're going to see some as to why these placements are significant for Silent Night. So we're going to start with the liver 3. And this is, I know it's going to go out of order a little bit, so bear with me. The liver 3 is the liver, this is between on top of the right foot. I mean, and again, Silent Night is to be worn. Please mute yourself if you can. Please, the Silent Night is to be worn on the right side. So the top of the foot between first and second toe, as you can see on the pictures. The liver meridian governs the smooth flow of energy and is tied to stress, frustration, emotional tension that we carry throughout the day, right? So this point help clear the mind so the mind can settle in at
Oh,
ease.
I'm sorry.
And and these point, as you can once you know a little bit as to what this point does, you can kind of adjust where to patch based on how your day was. And now we're going to go back to the triple heater 23. That's the outer edge of the eyebrow. So it's right here. And this is a fight or flight mode, control the fight or flight mode, right? And this is the end of the meridian, stimulating the signal of the nervous system. So that it tells the body, the nervous system, that it is safe to rest now. So think of it as an off switch for the alarm so it can go to rest. So the next one we're going to go is the TH17. And this is behind the earlobe right here. Okay, as you can see in the pictures. And this associate with the neck, jaw, and ear, place where most of us hold tension. I mean, we all know that. I mean, when you have tension, all this get tight, right? So activating this point release that tension and quiet the nervous system down further. Then the forward position is governing vessel 24. This is right behind the eyebrow, or a lot of us call it third eyes. And this vessel run along the spinal over the crown. And master yang meridian for the brain, it is a master yang meridian for the brain and the nervous system. And it is one of the most calming point in all Chinese medicine, signaling the brain to quiet down, that, it is time to go to sleep. And the next one is ST36. And this one is probably one of the most powerful points in all the acupunctures. And you notice that there's a lot of patches go on to this point. I mean, we use energy enhancer, we use ice wave, we use, I think, carnosine, and including X49 as well. So this one is strengthening overall vitality. It calms the minds, support the body recovery system, and deeply grounding. Perfect for people with a racing thought and at bedtime. And the last point is the kidney meridian. And this is above the ankle bone. The kidney meridian holds our deepest energy reserve. When we deplete, anxious, and exhausted, the kidney meridian energy is often at the root. So supporting this point helps the body feel safe enough to enter in the deep restoration. So now when you know about what this point means, then you kind of able to adjust. Okay, well, you know what? I'm a little stressed. My nervous system is all out whack today because of work or whatever it is. Then you can kind of place the silent night on this particular point to see if it's worked better. And again, it's everybody has their favorite points for to use. Mine is I always start with here, and then I move to the on top of the feet if that doesn't work. And that's top of the foot seem to work really well for me. So we talk about Silent Night, and what Silent Night does is activate our own body melatonin, right? But so let's dive deep down into what is melatonin. So it is so much better, so much more than a sleep. Most people think melatonin just make you sleepy, but here is what really doing. And you hear David talk about this before as well. It is a really powerful master antioxidant. It neutralizes free radical that damage cells. It protects your DNA and slow down the aging process. Okay, and then also it's immune defender. It stimulates natural killer cells, TMB lymphocytes, the frontline soldier of your immune system. So that's why David always said that this is powerful master antioxidant. So, and also mitochondria protector. And if you are in LifeWave, you hear about David talking about mitochondria all the time. So it's activate antioxidant enzymes such as glutathione, and so healthy mitochondria equal energies and longevity. And also brain protector. Melatonin is a brain protector. Act as a circadian synchronizer. I mean, if your circadian rhythm is out of whack, you are going to have hard time going to sleep. So people that work nighttime and daytime, their circadian rhythm seem to be out of place, right? So it's a sleep facilitator and then neuroprotective agent. So all in just one hormone. Now, this one I was surprised until I did some more study, and it's gut health. It helps regulate digestion, reduce gut inflammation, and may ease abdominal discomfort and access stomach acid. And when I read that, it's like, well, what happened when you have access stomach acid or gas reflex? I said, well, why don't we try melatonin or silent night? Would that help? Well, we don't know. You have nothing to lose, right? So we always said patch the symptom. So if that's a symptom and melatonin help with gut health, so why not try it? So anybody willing to try, if anybody that has that symptom, give it a try and see what happens. I love to hear if this work or not, right? And bone health. And this is another one that I thought was surprising. I did not know about this. It influences bone building cells, especially important for preventing osteoporosis as we age. I mean, I'm coming on 60, and being Asian, osteoporosis is prone because of our diet. We don't eat too much cheese, milk, and all this stuff that has a lot of calcium. So, and a lot of Asian don't go do jumping jack and to kind of help with the bone health either, because when you do exercise, it helps with that bone health as well. So when I see that, it's like, maybe I should start using Silent Night every night to kind of support my bone health now. So these are some of the role what melatonin does for your body. So what happened if your body stopped making melatonin? Melatonin productions naturally decline with age. What doesn't? I mean, everything we do, everything we know, we hear of decline with age, and it's dropped significantly after menopause. Girls, we all go through that, right? Come on, we have to go suffer through menopause, and now we have melatonin. Melatonin is also dropping significantly. So, what happened when that melatonin dropped? Anxiety, mood disorder. Yeah, when you think about it, going after, menopause, girls get really moody, right? So low melatonin is linked to anxiety, depressions, panic disorder, and disrupted circadian rhythm. So sleep breakdown. We know that. That's almost like a given. We all know that common denominator. Common knowledge right there. It's the most obvious and first sign most people notice. And waking, if you think about it, this kind of makes sense. If you don't sleep well, then you have trouble losing weight. So people, when we talk about things, what you are trying to help, we have to look at overall pictures most of the time. So sleep from low melatonin disrupt hunger hormones, contributing to unexpected weight gain and perhaps unable to lose weight, right? So immune suppression, diminished immune function with increased risks of infection, cancer, and autoimmune disease. And that probably linked to because it is a master antioxidant. So therefore, when this drop, then your immune system become suppressed, and brain and memory declines. I think when I hear this, it's almost like, well, yeah, when you don't get enough sleep, you get foggy. You can't remember things. You get tired. Your memory just kind of go whack, right? So it kind of makes sense when your production of melatonin decline. So decrease in cerebral and energy metabolism, cognitive decline, and increased daytime sleepiness. Kind of interesting. You don't sleep well at night because your melatonin doesn't produce, but yet when it's declined, you get sleepy during the day. So that's pretty interesting to me. Accelerated aging and, poor wound healings, hormone disruption, and decrease in longevity. And I think you can, and I don't know, you probably make fun of people all the time. Like if you see the person in the morning or midday and they look like hell, and then you go, first thing you said, rough night, didn't sleep well. So it kind of, go hand in hand. If you didn't sleep well, therefore you age really, really fast. So, so this is so important. Melatonin is so important in our overall well-being. And it's just, we don't talk about it enough. So why not just take melatonin's pill? I mean, these are just, I'm not picking this because they're bad. Okay. I just picked these as example that there are tons of melatonin's supplement out there. I mean, if you go to the CVS, Walgreens, or wherever, there's lots of them. There's even melatonin gummy bear for children, which I detest. It's like, why do you need to give children melatonin gummy bear? I mean, there's something is more than sleep disorder. If they can't sleep, there's something that you are feeding them during the day or their activities or whatever. Maybe they spend too much time on in front of TV. So by the time they come the bedtime, they can't go to sleep. So parents need to kind of educate themselves a little bit better before they stick a melatonin gummy bear for children. I mean, that's my personal opinion anyway. So side effect, there's not strong side effect for melatonin. It's not one of those dangerous side effects like medication, but it can cause daytime drowsiness and grogginess. It causes headaches and dizziness and vivid dream or nightmare. I mean, don't want nightmare. Thank you. And then mood change, stomach cramp and nausea, drug interaction. Now, this is important that if you decide to, or somebody that takes melatonin, they need to consult their pharmacist or doctor to make sure that if they're on any medication, that doesn't interfere with the drugs interaction. So just such as blood thinner, epilepsy drugs, birth control, diabetes, meds, and so definitely if you are birth control, and you don't want to have accident, oops, so don't take melatonin, I guess, right? And then it's not safe during pregnancy and nursing. And this is kind of research that I found is that 2025 AHA research showed that 1 year plus of usage of melatonin linked to a higher heart failure risk. This is a preliminary research, not yet peer review. So I'm sure they're going to, this is just barely last year. So I'm sure they're going to do some more study. And we probably, I want to keep the study to see if what it will be. Can somebody mute that too, please? And so why silent night instead? So as we know, nothing enter the body ever. And we keep saying that to people new all the time. Nothing enter the body. No synthetic hormone, no dependency risk, no drug interaction, no daytime grogginess, no heart risk concern. So body produces its own melatonin at the right time in the right amount. It signals your body to do what it was designed to do. And we say that to all the patches naturally. It signals the body to do what it designed to do. I think that's a really important sentence to share with people that coming in new and want to learn about our patches, any patches, right? And it signals the body to produce GHKCU. It signals the body to produce a carnosine, glutathione, and among other things, naturally. Okay. So we talk about Silent Nights, but a lot of time we kind of pair Silent Night with Aeon patch. And if you been with us long enough, we don't even talk about this nickname anymore. But 7-8 years ago, the nickname of Aeon patch, actually when it first came out, they call that a happy patch, because it helped reduce stress. Stress is the number one enemy of sleep. When you stress, you struggle to get that sleep because your nervous system is still at the fight or flight at bedtime. So your body won't fully let go. That's where the Aeon come in. So if you are having a difficult night, a difficult day because of stress or whatever certain part of your life is really stressful right now, you might want to pair Aeon with Silent Night. And a lot of time when I first started, I used Aeon during the day because there wasn't that many patches that we had back then. But now I switched to using Aeon at night to kind of calm my nervous system down. And so that helps a lot. So you can use Aeon during the day if you have a lot of stress that you need to be able to function, or you can use Aeon at night as well. So Aeon is part of 3YH anti-stress patch. Nothing into the body again. You know how it works. It activates our own body stress relief pathway. What it does is reduce cortisol, which is a stress hormone, and lower C-reactive protein, which is inflammation. I mean, the Aeon is the best patch to use to reduce inflammation. That's why it's also paired with X39, right? So, and also pair with Ice Wave. And it elevates SOD, body antioxidant fire extinguishers, and it balances autonomic system, nervous system, elevate DHEA, the longevity hormones, support liver function, and adrenals and recovery. So 10 minutes after using Aeon, the autonomic systems balance and restore. And all this is according to the clinical study. And in 20 minutes, majority of people feel the stress relief. When you do this demo, a lot of time when you keep the 20 to patch them with Aeon, you will find an 83% decrease in pain level. And also they feel like suddenly they feel clear, they feel happy. And that's why the nickname Happy Patch came about. And 79% overall energies improved. So stress is aging you faster, right? And we all know that when people go through stress in life, you run into them, you can tell that they went through something because they will look older than normal. And this is where Aeon can help them with that. It's for over 50 years, psychologists have shown that chronic stress causes the body to age rapidly. Stress produce harmful free radical and damage the tissue and DNA. It depletes the DHEA, which is the hormone directly tied to lifespan. So, when you are in stress, you kind of age faster, and then you weight gain, and your immune system kind of go out whack. Your cellular starting to break down. So you need to balance these. Aeon come with Aeon's help. It helps reduce and balance your nervous system, and then it reduce the break down the muscle, the fat store, suppress immunity, and that disrupt the sleep, and also reduce inflammation, which is a huge. That's why this Aeon is also good. Actually, not good. It's really excellent combo with X39 and Ice Wave. Elevate DHEA, elevate SOD, which is antioxidant enzyme, and also reduce fatigue, right? So how to use Aeon? I think we all know how to use Aeon most of the time. So again, this is recommended placement when it comes to when you are new with LifeWave. So you can apply in the morning, which I used to. You wear it for 12 hours and then you throw it away. And you can, try it out, rotate those location, 5 to 7 days a week, and see which location is work best for you. And point location, of course, that you can see here. And you can combine them with any patches. You can use it definitely with Extreme 9. You can use it with Ice Wave. You can use it with glutathione, carnosine to enhance the anti-aging support. And again, that's why they call it 3YH. When you buy it, when you combine the combo together is Aeon, glutathione, carnosine. So, and then of course, you have to stay hydrated throughout the day while using any of our patches. So I thought this was interesting. 43% of adults suffer health effect from stress. I probably would say more than 43%, but that's what the number is shown. But I think, life has been so stressful. And so, but it said a 43%. It's still high already, and that causes headache, high blood pressure, heart problem, diabetes, skin condition, depression, anxiety, and 70% experience lower work productivity. That's kind of common sense. When you're stressed, I think overall life productivity, life in general will be a lower because you can't handle that. So you always have to control your stress. And that's number one thing that you should do. So we're gonna go into the stage of I'm not lecturing, I'm just providing some information a little bit that there is 4 stage of sleep, right? So the cycle is 4 stage every 90 minutes. I didn't know that. 4 to 6 times per night. So each one has a unique essential job. And if you wear one of those Fitbits or tracking your sleep, it has all this stage that you can keep track, and it kind of tell you, okay, you in your REM sleep is only 20%, or your deep sleep is only so and so percent. And so let's understand a little bit why each stage of that is important. So the stage 1 is 5% of your total sleep. If you are having a good sleep, this is what it should look like, right? This is where you're light sleep and you're about dozing off. Your eye closing, your heartbeat slow down, muscle begins to relax, easy to wake up. The brain is shifting from alpha to theta wave, and you may feel like falling kind of sensation a little bit, and the gateway, this is a transition into the wakefulness of sleep. So then we move into stage 2. That's 45% of the total sleep. That's the huge part of your sleep pattern. This is the light sleep. I think most people stay in this a lot more because we can't seem to get to stage 3 and 4 for too long. So the heart rate and breathing slow down further. The body temperature drop, and the brain produce sleep spindles, bursts that protect sleep from disturbance, and memory consolidation begin. And most time, this is, like I said, most time spent in any single stage. 45% of it, we are in this stage. And stage 3, 25 of total sleep. This is where we call deep sleep. And, again, if you wear one of those sleep monitor, you don't see this number at a high percentage, and you can see why. It's only 25% of it. I used to wear them. I don't wear them anymore. And I can never get high or get long amount of deep sleep. And this is important if you can get there, because it is where physical repair. This is the most physical restorative stage. It's a slow delta wave, tissue repair, muscle rebuilding, immune system straighten, growth hormone release, energy replenish, and mostly the first half of the night without it, exhausted even you will feel exhausted even after 8 hours sleep. So if you don't get a deep sleep, you still don't get good sleep, and you wake up feeling tired. And REM sleep. I mean, we hear this a lot, REM sleep. And again, this is where the rapid eye movements, this is where the brain activity match being awake, dreaming occurs. So when you're in a dream, you are in like this REM um, sleep. And if you see the movie, sometimes you see that eye flicker, flutters, right? And that's where they get into this REM sleep. This is emotional process, memory, consolidation, and learning lot in this. And then what else does it do? Brain flush toxic waste, including Alzheimer linked protein. Mostly, this is the second half of the night. And I think if I recall correctly, I think REM sleep is mostly like early in the morning where you almost waking up already. So what happened when you don't get enough sleep? And 70 million Americans are sleep deprived. I mean that's why there's tons of melatonin out there. That's why there is a study, sleep disorder studies and all the whole bunch of other tools to help people sleep. So one sleepless nights impair you as much as 0.1% blood alcohol level. That's illegally drunk, you guys. I didn't know that percentage at all. I mean, that's pretty scary, and so when you don't get enough sleep, it affects your brain and mental health. And of course, we already know what melatonin when decreased, it affects your brain and mental health. The heart and circulation is higher risk of high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high heart attack, stroke, inflammation, damage, you name it, anything about heart related. Weight,
Jane,
blood sugar, hunger hormones and spike, so that's why people can't lose weight. And there's a type 2 diabetes risk increase significantly. Immune system breakdown, energy performance. Of course, if you don't get enough sleep, you are tired next day and your performance will be poor. So athletes, they need to get good sleep. So anytime my boys about to go play tournament next day, I always make sure that they go to bed early, get plenty of sleep, eat early enough, and then go to sleep so they can wake up and they have lots of energies, right? Um, then hormone disruption, the growth hormone dropped. We hear about that all the time. This is it released only during stage 3 of deep sleep, and testosterone drop, thyroid function disrupted, fertility and reproductive health are also affected. So it is sleep is not just sleep. It is a major part of your overall well-being. So we don't talk about sleep enough when we talk to people and guide people throughout our patching process or our wellness process. Okay. So how do you use eons and um, silent night together? So stage 1, light sleep, you use eon, it removes the stress. And then silent night signal melatonin in stage 1, restore. And then it's when your room darkness to begin to fall, right? So you're starting to fall asleep. And then stage 2, eon will help lowering the cortisol and inflammation, and so you can stay in this stage. And then melatonin support the body temperature is starting to drop and move smoothly into stage 2. So that's transition kind of help. And then stage 3, Eon will help load the body, committed to the deep repair. Chronic stress keep you alert to sleep, preventing full entry into the low wave. So Eon will help with that in the stage 3. And then with Silent Night which is a master antioxidant, will help support the cellular repair at this stage, which we already saw all the written of all the 4 stage of sleep, and it protects the mitochondria during this stage as well. So stage 4 with the REM sleep, this is when Eon will help the stressful people emotionally kind of allow it to fully get into this REM sleep with reducing all the stress and emotionally that we are fighting about, our brain is fighting. So with this one is, it said that in the, so melatonin, silent night activate the melatonin, right? So therefore, this research is based on what melatonin does on the stage 4. It regulates the REM sleep, and that silent night support the body own melatonin. So enable emotional process and memory consolidation and toxic brain um, protein clearance. So, how do you want to use this? If you choose to use Aeon and Silent Night at night, so apply 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, so it start calming the nervous system down, and you can place on Aeon on the recommended placement as we talk about. And step two, apply Silent Night before bedtime, right? So it starts signaling the body to produce the melatonin. And again, you can choose one of those 6 placement that we talked about it earlier. So, but the environment has to be right to support healthy sleep as well. We always talk that patches is not overall answer. We have to support our body environment for everything that we do when we're using the patches. So you want to dim the light 1 to 2 hours before bed. And David talk about this all the time. No screen after 9 p.m. Consistent sleep. You keep track. You go to sleep at 10. You wake up at 6. You want to keep that um, regular cycle or regular schedule, and make sure your room is cool. And because your body temperature drop during sleep, so cool room help process that to happen faster. And of course, limit alcohol. I mean, we all know that. I mean, if you have too much alcohol, it's going to disrupt your sleep. And breath work. I went to a breath work a couple days ago, and it's amazing. If you haven't tried it, this is something that you can learn how to do as well. It's kind of help your calm your nervous system down. And one that is important is 4 in and 8 out. And basically, you inhale it deeply and count 4, hold it to 4, and then exhale that 8 and hold and repeat it. And then that will slow down your nervous system, and your breathing will slow down, and everything, your muscle and everything will start slow down. So stay hydrated during the day. And of course, magnesium glycinate also help to support the system. And, we hear that from David as well. So your next step, try the protocol, and then see what happened. Keep journal as to what position or what placement help best to help you with those. And then share your story, pass, and then, train people to understand more of this placement and how important their sleep is to their overall wellness. All right, so that is the end of my presentation. Let me stop sharing. Stop